into the DNVR Avalanche podcast. That was a game of hockey that got played in the daytime. If you want to explain matinee hockey to someone, just show them this game, and that'll sum it up, basically.
Yeah, it was pretty silly.
Avs lose 8-4 to the Florida Panthers, which, like, hilariously, as crazy as this game was, that score is not at all representative of what happened in this hockey game either.
Yeah, it's funny.
Because there's 2 empty netters added onto that score. It's just ridiculous.
12 Genos.
12 goals. I'll do a 60-second rundown. Despite all the goals, I think I only need like 20 seconds. Avs forgot to show up to the game. They give up 3 goals on the first 4 shots of the game. And then the Panthers forgot to show up for the second period, and they give up 3 goals in the first 4.5 minutes of the second period. And then you play the rest of the hockey game, where the Florida Panthers do get one back to make it 4-3. The Avs then yank Prosvetov on that goal, put Georgiev in. The Avs eventually get the goal back in the third period to make it 4-4, thanks to Jonathan Drouin. And then the Avs take some dumb penalties. They fall behind, and the game collapses into what ends up being an 8-4 final. The Avs goaltenders give up 6 goals on 24 shots, and that's not good enough. That's it. Yeah, that could be the whole show. This sound.
Not good.
That's a clip.
I genuinely struggled to find things to say about significant portions of this game. Did the Avs defense play poorly to come out and start this game? You give up 3 goals in the first 7 minutes? Sure. You also get scored on 3 shots in a row.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to stop the puck.
Yeah.
You end up at the end of this game with 2 goaltenders. Both of the Avs goaltenders post a sub-800 save percentage in this hockey game. Both of them. One of them posts a sub-700. It's a tough night.
Sick.
And it was in the 200s for a while.
It was in the 200s for a time. It was that low.
Eesh.
It's bad. And let me ask you guys this, because...
Go ahead, sorry.
No,
you're fine.
How upset are you with this game? Because I'll be honest with you, my expectations were super low. It was a matinee. There are some pretty significant problems that we'll talk about in this game, but the loss itself, to be honest with you, I'm kind of indifferent about.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Like they lose 8-4 in a game that they should have gotten blown out in and didn't, because they are obnoxiously in every game that they play.
Yep.
And I don't know. I almost walk out of this feeling better after having watched it.
I feel better about everything but the goaltending.
Of course. Yeah, I would definitely echo that sentiment, where you're looking at both of those goalies, and I feel bad for Georgiev.
It's a hard ask coming cold.
He comes
like that.
in
Yeah.
losing 4-3 and gets a loss dropped on him. But how many times has the guy played poorly and gotten a W?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
a little karma there, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit of Thanos level balancing of the universe here. But really, like, God, Bobrovsky looks old.
It's because he is old.
I just don't feel too poorly about it, because the team in front continues to play hard. It continues to be involved. It continues to do a lot of the right things.
Yep.
And then you're 4-4 in the third period of this game.
Yep.
And
we'll get to the dumb penalties.
Yeah, but that's what kills you. And
for sure.
That was a thing that happened way too often at the start of the year.
Yeah, definitely.
And the Avs have just kind of gotten away with some of these recently. Mm-hmm. They deserve to lose this game.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
They deserve to lose it, and they lose it, but they still go down swinging. It's still with the fight here. And I think in an 82-game season on one day, it's not going to bother me that much.
Sure.
And as much as we're going to talk about matinee games and, silly things will happen here, sure. But you blow a game that you really, really were in, and that sucks.
Yeah, I would not fault anyone that is seriously upset with this game. Totally understand where you're coming from. I'm just not.
Well, you guys talk about PDO all the time, right? And then you're like, oh, they're losing streaks coming, and they, you know, history and numbers show that they will happen. You know, I've been on teams, I've seen teams, the Avalanche team. You know, when we say sometimes like, oh, you can't keep playing like this and give up that many chances and get away with it and win games. What's the opposite for the Avs? Like, they're playing good. They're not even giving up a lot. And there's no way it can keep going this way where the puck goes in all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm a Georgiev fan. What I'm saying is, and do I faith? Yes, I do. Do I think he's going to be fine? Yes, do I? But he needs to get out of it. And it's not Georgiev tonight, obviously. We're not talking about this. But tonight was Prospetov. Like, it's not like they were dog shit and not playing well. The pucks are going in.
Yep.
I don't know how else to tell you. Mistakes are made. Yes, every team makes mistakes. If they're playing
that's
hard,
how you give up scoring chances.
I mean, that's what a
Major
scoring
chances, like-
chance is. It's a mistake by usually 3 guys out of the 5 on the ice. That's just it's the law of averages.
You make mistakes. The other team makes better plays.
And that's it.
You know?
And but it's like 40 games now. I feel like pucks are going in. Like they just go in. And I feel bad for the for the goalies, for the guys, and now it's not like 5 games. It's like it's been a while, and you're like, wow. And that's where I worry. And I'm not saying there's another option on there. I'm saying let's go tuck this guy in the bed every night. Georgie, make sure he feels good. Get him his favorite food there is every day at the rink.
Somebody to brush his hair.
Somebody brush his hair. Let's grow his hair back.
So you're saying they need to get a live chicken?
A what?
A live chicken.
Yes. Like Pedro Serrano.
Exactly.
Yes, Major League. See, we got
Perfect.
movies going. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not worried because the Avs fought tonight. They have world-class players. Those guys are going to make plays. Like, if you look at the scoreboard tonight, if you go like this with your fingers and you put it on the screen, you don't look, and then you go like this. Oh, Avs 4. Oh. Usually it's an automatic. Oh, they won 4-2. No, you're like, 8. Oh, boy. You're like, shit. Like, forget about the empty netters. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not like they're giving up 45 shots a night or 80 shot attempts and they're getting freaking killed. Like the Carolina game last year where Frankie sold that. You know what I mean? Like, this is not what's happening. Like,
Funny enough, the last time they did give up 40-plus shots,
was Frank.
they won that game.
That's
They won that game when
Yeah.
Georgiev shut the door in the third period against Ottawa.
There you go.
In
That's
another comeback.
That's right. But it's just so it's kind of the pucks are going in. I don't know what to tell you. Whether it's a bad goal or a good goal, it's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm. It's not. We're not debating this. I'm saying the pucks are going in.
It's well, and look, we've talked about the side of this conversation where yes, your skaters make mistakes and you need your goaltender to bail them out sometimes. But I also want to talk about the other side of this conversation. Yeah, your skaters made some mistakes. They also got you back into this game.
Yeah.
They scored 4 goals in this game. On most nights, you should win when you score 4 goals.
And you erase a 3-0 deficit and then a 4-3 deficit.
Yep.
I mean,
like you're building, and the way that you lose the game, the situation that causes you to essentially lose this game, is one where you're just like, what is this?
Yep.
You know, like I would love to get an explanation. I guess we don't have to talk about this now.
We
but
can. It's whatever.
I would love to get an explanation how that Ross Colton penalty is a double minor.
Yep.
I just don't know
I
the
don't get it
standard.
either.
I don't know the standard here because it's 2 games in a row. The standard for seemingly my entire life in the NHL has been
Blood.
double minor if bleeding.
Yep.
Otherwise, minor. And in 2 straight games, the Avs have gotten a double minor with no blood, and we don't have any explanation as to why. So that's what I'm asking for. I'm not saying it's a bad call or a good call. I just want to know why. But the way more egregious one, your most reliable penalty killer
rips a puck out of the
yeets a
rink.
puck.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just turning and firing. He doesn't know that he has time. He
Yep.
doesn't know that, whatever. But of all the things he could have done with that, that's the worst.
Yep.
Outside of just turning around and shooting it into his own net, that's the worst play that he could make in that
might be worse,
situation. There isn't a worse play that he could make. Just turning it over and it stays in the zone, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
But the play that Logan O'Connor makes, and that's the frustration about the top guys are overplayed. Nathan McKinnon doesn't even play 20 minutes in this game.
Yeah,
And Ross Colton high sticks a guy wildly out of control with the stick. It's stupid from Ross Colton. It's just stupid.
Just
from
a
him.
bad play.
Yeah. And then one of your most reliable players makes the kind of play that he makes once every 2 months, just a really dumb thing to do in an awful situation.
I'm not excusing it. He has to know better, and he has to know he has to manage a bouncing puck better than he did there. But at the same time, that's so stupid that's a penalty, that he whacks at a puck dribbling off the ice and it just gets yeeted to the sun, and that's somehow his fault.
Yeah, well, and somehow that is the same caliber of punishment as slashing a guy on a breakaway, hooking a guy who's open on the back door and you just yank him or whatever.
Goal if you don't do this.
Right,
yeah.
and I've always said that it's a $10 punishment for a $2 crime.
Yep.
And I think that it's just I have used this podcast to make this point probably 400 times.
Keep making it until they change the rules.
That the delay of game, puck out of play delay of game should not be a 2-minute penalty. It should just be treated as icing. Functionally, I don't see how they're different. Yep. They're both delaying the game. It was not an epidemic in the 90s when this was a rule when this wasn't a thing.
Yep.
It just wasn't that bad. You and I have gone back and watched a bunch of 90s hockey games together.
It doesn't happen very often.
Kept track of them.
It's made up.
And it was just not a problem. It was just not a problem. And
even if it was a problem, treating it like an icing would solve the problem all the same.
Exactly. It's the same function, because you should not be punishing teams in that way.
Yep.
For delay of game. It's just and seeing it in this situation, it's just awful.
Yep.
It's such an awful decision from Logan O'Connor. He makes a bad play. They're in a full 2-minute 5-on-3. And if you get out of a full 2-minute 5-on-3, you have done something, because
you should get scored on.
The majority of quality teams out there are going to score on that. If there's too much time, there's too much space.
Momentum swing, right?
The opportunities are going to be too good.
There's two guys open at all times.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. And it's just not. I don't know, man. You do all that work and then you just take a shotgun to both of your feet in the third period of a tie game. And it's, there's just nothing else that I can say about it. You erase all the good work that you did to even get back in a game that you shouldn't have been in after that 3-0 start. And that sucks.
It do suck. On that note, sucks less if you if you go make some money on it at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Yeah.
You can go over to DraftKings today, use the DNVR code. When you sign up for a new account, you get $150 in bonus bets. When you sign up over there, get with them. DraftKings, tons of different options to bet on. Tons of fun stuff you can get into, whether it's hockey or not. P.S. You might not want to bet on matinee hockey games because they're weird and stupid.
Yeah, just bet the over.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it.
Hammer the over for matinee games. Our chat was doing it for the watch along, so.
Yeah, successfully.
That's true. They did re-up it multiple times and get rewarded. So.
A couple of double and tripling down.
So do it with DraftKings. Use the DNVR code when you sign up for that new account and get your bets in, of course, with DraftKings. If you have a gambling problem, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. League pass rewarded. Issued as a promo code to redeem subscription and must be claimed by January 15th. See DraftKings.com/promos for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Ugh.
You got it.
And then take the money you win from DraftKings, be smart about it, go invest it into the future with collegeinvest.org. You can get over with College Invest today. Of course, it's always important to make sure you're investing for your kids so you don't end up like hockey players who can't do math or read good. Don't do that, because then you'll play matinee games and lose them 8-4 and be sad. Instead, be smart. Get yourself set up for college. Get your children set up for college. You can do it now. It's super easy, no hassle setup with collegeinvest.org. They'll take care of everything for you. Go join them today. Plan for the future. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. A lot of bad to talk about here, but I want to talk about some of the good, too. One, felt like you got the Cale Makar experience tonight.
Yeah.
It's been far too many games this year where Cale Makar is almost great, but not quite there. You saw some of the greatness tonight from that guy. So, a positive step forward for him. You have to feel good about it. You kind of already touched on this, and obviously the end result sucks, but the Avs continue to show a lot of resiliency in games where they're trailing. The fact that they made this a game at all, rather.
Yeah.
They deserve some credit for that.
I thought they made some big plays. I mean, they scored 4 goals against a freaking arguably one of the best goalies in the league this year.
Tampa,
and a team that has been
on fire defensively.
by the way, they'd given up 10 goals total in their last 6.
There you go.
And the Avs put 4 on.
So the Avs are a good team. We all know they have elite power, elite talent, elite players. They make elite plays. They make you pay. And they did that again tonight. And again, I'm not going to argue on it or harp on it again. They get a couple saves out of the mistakes that they make, because they're all mistakes. They win this game. That's it. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. It's not like there was no effort. It's not like they were dog shit. It's not like, were they perfect? No. Was there a few passengers? Yeah. But no different than the Florida Panthers, It got to be an exciting game because pucks went in. Mm-hmm. Pucks went in and they dug themselves a hole, and then they were like, oh, crap, we got to get ourselves out of that hole, which they did multiple times.
Yeah.
And against a good team, a good goalie. And then Georgiev comes in. I'm not blaming Georgiev. No. 5-on-3 goal. Actually, I'd like to talk about, not right now, but how to defend that 5-on-3. I heard you say it too. I'd like to hear it.
Let's get into it. Yeah, there's no organization of this.
No, I'm not saying this. I'd like to know, like, from them internally, what is their plan?
You know what I mean?
Sure. Like, you can see, because it's not the first time. I think you said that we're like, it's weird
Devontae
the way
specifically playing at the top of the crease there has repeatedly stepped out of the passing lane. And I get it, like, there's a conversation where it's like, is Cale supposed to be in that passing lane?
That's my problem. Cale, I think Cale is too far out because he's trying to take away the shot.
Sure.
If he steps back one step, he's both in a position to block the shot, but also in a position where he's close enough to the guy down low to be able to get a stick on him. If he gets the puck and steps out, he can be competitive there. But he's also still in the passing lane between the guy down low and the guy in front.
Yep.
He's one step further. He's one step closer to that guy than I'd like, because it opens him up. The position that he was in position to block the shot only. Yep. And in a 5-on-3, there are options. And if you're what you're trying to take away on the 5-on-3 is all the shit around the net.
Yeah.
Defend that. Pack it tighter. If you let those guys shoot from a little further out, you can live with that. That should be the thing you're trying to do. And so my question would be, what are you trying to take away?
Yeah, that's what I was assuming.
What are you trying to defend here? Is it just this one shooter?
So the thing for me is I don't mind Cale fronting the shooter there as much if that is their system.
Yeah.
And you have Devon committing to that guy in the middle. And you know what? If they make 3 tic-tac-toe passes and that guy in the middle slides it to the back door guy that Taves move off of, then they score. Fine. Don't give him a 5-on-3 at that point.
Yeah, straight up. At some point, skill players make skill plays. Right. But in that case, you made it really easy for them.
Sure.
And we have seen a number of times. I think the frustration isn't so much this isolated incident.
It's that it's happened repeatedly.
It's that it's happened repeatedly where they make that pass down low, and it's that one touch coming out in front of the net, and it goes into and your goalie really does not stand much of a chance. Yeah. If it's a decent shot at all, you're getting scored on.
Yep. But you got to remember where the pass comes from. Where? Behind him, right? So
Yeah.
below
He's
the
gotta
goal
go
line.
from looking
so
like
he has to
this
go from this
all the way to
and
the
people
middle
can say
of the
like, "Oh,
ice,
he's
yeah.
too deep." But how the frickin' frack do you want him not be deep? Puck's on the goal
This,
line.
this is the NHL. If he's not too deep, they're gonna bank it in off your back.
That's my
Like,
point. So then you push, and by the time you're pushing, you're going. He's going to score 50 goals.
Yeah.
Sam
And it
Reinhart.
happens so quickly. The puck goes. He goes
Yeah.
from having to respect the shot.
Yep.
So he's a little far out here.
Yeah.
And then he's got to move
Yeah,
that way.
that's right.
And it opens up exactly the area where
Yeah.
that puck goes into the net because he's not going to be able to get to the top of his crease.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's your game-winning goal, right? That's
Yep.
the
It
fifth
is.
one. So I mean, you can't.
To be
put a
honest, I
blame-
can throw everything that happens before that goal. You're in a 4-4 hockey game in the third period.
That's fine.
I don't really. You pulled your goaltender.
Sure.
You did whatever. You're in a 4-4 hockey game in the third period.
Yeah.
Yep.
At home.
Yeah, you tied the game in the third period.
Yep.
You get a Jonathan Drouin where he just torches Mikola and beats Bobrovsky. It's a great goal. It's his 9th of the season.
Yep.
He just keeps producing for you.
Yep.
And it doesn't have anything to do with line mates. He just straight up outworks a guy
Yeah.
and makes a play.
Totally.
And then you put you have that position, and then Ross Colton just. I know the stock show started today, but him just rodeo clowning around with that stick that's got to stop.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's just irresponsible. And the one of the guys, I'm not gonna say the one guy, but one of the guys that could not have a big mistake after the bullshit in Dallas a couple days ago
It's
was Ross Colton.
Yep.
yeah.
So I know people in chatter and people in general, every time the Avs lose a game, it's, what about Ryan Johansson? And yeah, what about him? He didn't do anything.
Yep.
That's a problem. That's a different problem.
One we've addressed plenty.
Yeah, Ross Colton actively hurts you in this because he does something wildly irresponsible. Why that is a double minor, I'm not sure.
But it's definitely at least a single.
But does it matter because you give up the 5-on-3 happens
Yep.
in the first half of it,
Yep.
and then you kill the last 2.5?
Yep.
You actually got through that. Okay, it's the first one it's the first penalty at all that puts you in the position.
Yep.
And then O'Connor just sinks you.
Yep.
Because I think you could have gotten away with the.
You might
Ross
have
Colton.
survived.
Yeah,
You might have.
4 minutes. We saw the Florida got through it.
Yep.
But when you give them a full 2-minute 5-on-3, like all of us lose our shit if a team doesn't score on a 40-second 5-on-3.
Yep.
It's so hard to defend those.
Yeah. You're just supposed to score on them.
Yeah. It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's and
God,
look,
it's bad, man.
I get what you're saying with the erasing the rest of the game when you get to 4-4. And it's a game that really, at that point, you felt like the Evs probably should have gotten a point out of if they weren't their own worst enemy. And they were. Not trying to take any of that away. But at the same time, that fourth goal for Florida just can't go in.
Oh,
it
dude.
just cannot go in.
That's a deflator. That is unacceptable deflator, whatever you want to call it. Like
the first
takes
three
the
goals
wind
of
out of you. The building goes numb. Like everything. It's just like, oh.
the first 3 goals of the game, I think you need better, but you can say, hey, all right, the Avs had some pretty bad breakdowns here. Hey, these are good chances in
Makar
front
just
of the net.
watches
Yeah.
Sam Reinhart get away from
Right.
him on a breakaway.
Yeah.
It's just a bad read. It's a bad play by Cale Makar all the way around.
Yeah.
To just stand there and watch Sam Reinhart break up the ice. He gets away from him, and like Sam Reinhart in a one-on-one situation against Ivan Prosvetov.
You're betting on Sam Reinhart.
Give me a break here. Am I going to be mad at Prosvetov? I'd love for a save there, but am I expecting one? And am I going to be mad at a guy and he doesn't make that save? No. So yeah, the first 3 goals is a combination of like, there's a problem in front, and then he doesn't bail you out.
Yep.
That's it.
But the fourth one,
The fourth one's a
There's
nothing shot
there's
from
nothing.
the point.
There's
It's a
nothing.
nothing.
That's a nothing
It just can't
burger.
go in the net.
Nothing burger with no cheese, nothing. Just
Georgiev
like
gave up that
dried
same
onions.
goal in Philadelphia last year against Tony D'Angelo, and
Yep.
I spent the entire year mad about it.
Yep.
The whole season. I'm clearly still unhappy with it.
Who gave it up? Georgie's?
Yeah. Gave
I
that up,
remember,
and that
yeah.
was at a time where he just couldn't give up goals because that
Yeah.
team was so injured.
There was
yeah.
nobody left.
Yeah. So
That's
and to pull Prosvetov, it was like you chose to give Georgiev rest in this game.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and I completely understand why Bednar after the comeback was just like,
No, we're in this.
we're in
we
this.
Have to, we have to go for it.
not,
Yeah.
I'm not throwing this game away because I'm trying to give this guy rest.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also,
Sometimes you just got to take your lumps there.
Did you accomplish anything by going half and half here? Your
You got
goaltender,
no rest.
your goaltender that you tried to rest played half the game anyway,
Yep.
and you still lost.
And he's still going to have to go out and start the next one.
It's like the worst combination of things that could have happened.
Yep.
In terms
It
of
really
how they rolled with the goalies in this.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Super
Frustrating.
Super duper frustrating. Other good news: Nathan McKinnon's home point streak does stay alive.
Hell yeah.
It is what it is.
Moves into 5th place by himself, not
Yeah.
tied with 3 other dudes or however many it was anymore.
Yep. And for at least another 45 minutes is the leading point scorer in the NHL.
Yeah, Makar now the leading scoring defenseman in the NHL for who knows how long.
So it's I do think it is important to mention that outside of the obvious egregious penalties that lost in this game, I really don't think the Avs skaters played that bad tonight.
I don't either. My problems with them is more offensively than defensively again.
Sure.
They're not creating enough dangerous chances. They're not buzzing enough. And as much as you can feel really, and you should feel really good that the Avs have 320 goal scorers, Jonathan Duran is on fire.
Yep.
You're feeling like, hey, you got 4 real guys here. Arturi Lehkonen is not far from returning. You're seeing the foundation of your forward core
Come together
You
a
need it
little
to be,
bit, yeah.
no Miles Wood means you once again waste a couple of minutes on the Curtis McDermott thing.
Yeah.
I guess it's really the Ben Myers thing because we know that it's whatever.
Waivers.
And that your depth forwards aren't doing a whole lot because your depth forwards are once again
All
being
playing
overplayed
one line
a little
too
bit.
high, yeah.
And you want to see them create more dangerous chances. That's it.
Yep.
It would really, 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 really help if Ryan Johansson showed that he has any kind of a pulse at all.
Yep.
But during play, after the whistle, he seems perfectly content to shout at people. A little stick here, a little stick there. That's all good and well. But during play, can we see a little bit of pulse?
Yeah.
'Cause
Which would
it's-
maybe help a guy like Ben Myers or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you want
Anybody that
more.
he's playing next to, it's like,
Again, you got 10 minutes of NHL ice tonight. Forget about who with who or with what, or you got 10 minutes of ice to just kind of make the decision so much easier for them.
Yep.
Make the decision where it's an easy one for them to say, okay, you know what, he's one of us now. You know what I mean? But right now, you're still in between.
He's making the decision pretty easy, just in the wrong direction, I
That's
think.
my point.
Yeah.
every line that he is on becomes the donut line because there's a fucking hole in the middle.
I know.
And it's just,
I know.
you just can't, you can get by with a productive center, a guy that drives play but has weak wings. You can't get by the other way. You can't get by with solid wings
I agree.
trying to lift up a center. It's just not good enough.
I agree.
Unless
And-
you have
and
the
this-
best winger in the world.
Arturi Lehkonen is not going to magically fix that for you.
he will not.
That's the guy that puts the bow on your forward core.
Yep.
Not Nikolai Kovalenko coming across and taking Kiviranta's job.
Yeah.
Not Lehkonen coming back and pushing everybody down one more spot. You need another center to help.
Yep.
For my money, man, you can't keep doing this.
I agree.
I'm with you.
Yeah, the schedule is too tough.
You cannot go another 15 games of Ryjo putting up goose eggs. You just can't.
Of just he's not doing anything.
Yep.
And yeah,
15
Ross Colton
times.
makes it worse because he actively hurts you in this one.
But he has
he
been doing stuff this
He
season.
actively helps you in so many other games.
Yep.
This is ridiculous to watch him just do nothing.
Yep.
-2, no shots. I'm just talking about simple stats here.
It's just so frustrating.
Anyway, it's the issues there are obvious, but on the lighter side, did we see the most ridiculous goal of the season get scored by the Avs in this game?
absolutely.
Their second goal of the game is a shot by Josh. Well, okay, you have to go before the shot even comes in here.
Yeah,
These things are happening simultaneously to create
The Avs
this.
have the
Third
puck
D.
in the offensive zone. I don't know who it was on Florida. Skates around his own net, catches the knob of Bobrovsky's stick and rips it out of his hands. The stick is then lying to the side of the net. While play continues, not one, but two Panthers come by and try to touch the stick back to Bobrovsky, which then flings the stick into the crease as Bobrovsky is making a save on a Josh Manson shot, which rebounds out off of a Panther and up into the air as Bobrovsky steps on his own stick and then falls over backwards as the puck flops over his head
and dribbles into the net.
Crazy.
What?
You talk about puck luck?
People play this sport professionally, and that's allowed to happen. Come on, man.
It's ridiculous.
You got
dude.
ALLCITY and Ross that are just trying to dive right in there to put that thing in, and they whiff on it both.
Colton isn't even close.
Yeah.
He totally misses.
And
the
then
puck just
Josh ends up getting the goal. It's awesome. Screw up play.
It was hilarious.
I can't even. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
And on live, you're watching them, you keep an eye on what's going on. The puck's moving around, all this is happening. And then all of a sudden, the puck's in the net, and you're like, awesome. They've scored 2 goals in a minute. This is crazy. They're back in this game.
Yeah.
Then you watch the replay, and you're like, what is this?
What in the actual hell?
This is absolute nonsense.
Well, you take it where you can. Unfortunately, the Evs couldn't capitalize on it in this one. If your defensemen have knocked the stick off of your roof, you haven't, I don't know, you lost some shingles. I don't know how to transfer that one. Either way, if you've got roofing issues, Red Hawk Roofing has your back. Go give them a call today. Even if your roof is not having an issue, give them a call because they'll give you a free inspection. They'll go up there. They'll take a look at everything. They'll take pictures. They'll come down. They'll show you all what's going on up there. Hopefully it's totally fine. There might be some issues. There might not be. They totally free, that part of it. And then if you do have issues, they will take care of you. They'll get it all fixed up. If you have a problem crop up in the middle of the night, they're available 24/7. They do emergency calls. They'll make sure you're all good with your roof no matter what's going on. So visit redhawkroofing.com today. Go get a hold of them. A local Colorado company, too. So you're supporting local like us. And then stick with local. Go get yourself some Snarfs.
Yes.
They got delicious sandwiches. I'm sure Eric would say this game was a bit of a ham sandwich. So
Oh, it was a nice ham sandwich.
Extra
like a
ham?
Snarf. Yes.
Snarfs have got ham sandwiches. They've got everything under the sun, whatever you want. You want some cold cuts. You want some turkey. You want some hot dogs on a sandwich. You name it. Everything there and everything in between, too.
Really weird. Like, you're going through their menu, and there's a bunch of different options, and all of a sudden they're like, want some hot dog and bacon on a sandwich together?
Snarfs finally gave us the answer to, is a hot dog a sandwich? Well, it is if you put it in a sandwich.
Exactly. Put it between some bread, and this conversation's over.
Go get yourself some. Tons of different locations here in Colorado to jump on with Snarfs. And you can also go to a Snarfs burger. They have a few of those, too, if burgers are more your thing.
That I didn't know.
Now you know.
Well, I mean, the last time you said
yeah,
it.
of course. I think there's 3 different locations, so yeah, go check them out. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Again, I've already seen some people in the chat saying it. The 8 goals isn't really representative of this game. 2 of those are empty netters.
Oh, it's only 6.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's good.
I know.
But people come in and they're like, oh, 8 goals. Wow, that's crazy. It's, sort of.
Yeah, it's only 6, guys. Calm down.
Although technically the 7th goal doesn't count as an empty netter because Georgiev was still on the ice.
Dude, imagine losing your fantasy because that counts against Georgiev. That would be brutal. I hope it happens to the guy in my league. I don't know if he's winning or I have no idea.
You got the Bobrovsky W today.
I needed it after he gave up all those damn goals.
Let's see what they decided to give him. I'll tell you.
Yeah, they
right
gave
now.
him 3 goals against. I saw it.
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
Because that is the right call. I'm not saying it's
you gotta
fair.
You got to do something with that goal.
They gave him 3. You're right.
You guys remember? I don't remember who the goalie was, but when Landy scored that empty netter and the goalie was literally come like halfway off the ice,
he's like sliding back over.
God, that was a funny one.
Oh, man.
And then the players are like, God, that's just another dash.
Yeah, a lot of minuses were handed out at the end of this game.
Avs need to play well versus a contender. Just can't only beat the scrubs.
Well, Dallas
We
is
are
last I checked.
days removed from beating the Stars.
Just beat Dallas.
Yeah. Days removed from sweeping Dallas in Dallas this season.
Okay.
Man, I tell you, I just want to, in my life, live only on that day and just see what it would be like. 100% in the day that you're in. That just feels like emotional freedom to me that I do not have.
No cares about yesterday. No cares about tomorrow.
Straight up. Just you are only in the day. Would I even watch sports if I was doing that?
Yeah, I wouldn't even. Would you even know what a sport is at that point?
Well, I'm not saying you have amnesia. This isn't 51st Dates. I'm just saying to just be like, to be able to like lock yourself into just that day and only care about what happens on that day and then
Reset at midnight.
Well, like emotionally, like how you feel, how you analyze anything. It is only based on the information from that day. I think that would rule. I'm just saying. I just think that's. I wonder what that would be like.
I will never know because I'm not capable of doing that. I don't know.
They lost one scrub game to Chicago. One.
That's it.
Otherwise, have they lost to another like really bad team?
I mean, the Blues at the start of the year, if you're going that far back.
Yeah, like they also, I guess, lost the one to Seattle before Seattle figured it out. But as they've shown, they're still a solid team,
Yeah,
right?
they're now in a playoff spot.
The Blues are also right there. As much as I can't stand them,
Also, like, who counts? Like,
competitive.
if we're going this far back, who counts as a contender then?
I guess losing in Buffalo isn't very good in retrospect, right?
Sure. But, like, the Avs have also beaten Vancouver.
Yeah.
They've beaten Tampa Bay, however you want to feel about them. They beat L.A. to start the year.
Yeah. They beat Dallas twice.
Yeah, they've beaten Dallas twice.
in Dallas.
And they beat the Sabres the last time they played them. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. If you want to see them beat more contenders, look at the schedule for the next week.
They have
because
all
they're
the
about to
chances
get a
coming up.
bunch.
Yeah, all the chances are coming. They lose this game and they make it hard as hell for Florida.
Yeah.
Florida's stoked.
Florida was up 3-0, 7 minutes into this game.
And it took a 5-on-3.
Yep. 50 minutes later.
Yeah,
To win this
five
game.
on 3 halfway through a third period.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Scratching and clawing, man. Scratching and clawing.
and I think this is a consistent thing that we've talked about this year. Is it is often the Avs beating themselves, and obviously that's
Yes.
bad. I'm not trying to tell you that the Avs beating themselves is good, but
If you felt like they had a serious talent disparity,
Right.
you'd be in a way bigger concern here.
you feel like the Avs can figure things out and beat teams that they've lost to, instead of looking at these teams and going, "Oh well, they're just better than the Avs."
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a single game I feel like that this year.
Yeah.
I agree.
Anyway, I don't have anything else to say about this stupid ass matinee game. So,
This is disappointing, but you also knew they weren't going to win every single home game,
yep.
Oh.
you know?
And you're going to lose again to a contender. And you're going to lose again to a bad team. And, I mean, it's just...
It's an 82 game season.
If you're
I always ask this question. Which games are you allowed to lose? Because if you lose against a contender and it's you can't beat them, and you lose against a scrub team
take
and it's
them
you can't
lightly.
beat them, which ones are you allowed to lose?
none of them, you got to go 82-0.
Like which one do you lose and say, yeah, it's all right? Like that stuff happens. Is losing to like a really good Florida team that is on their best stretch of the season
Yep.
and who has shown to be fantastic on the road. I think they've won 7 road games now in a row after the win tonight.
Yes, they have.
Like
It's also a weird ass game too.
in the I guess I'll ask you guys this. The concernometer. 0 is I'm not even a little bit concerned. I have no pulse. The 10 is my house is burning down. How concerned do you get losing today's game?
1.
Yeah, I was going to say 2, 1.
Okay. I guess I'm a little higher. I'm at like a 4.
Sure.
And it's a 4 because you gave up 6 more goals, real goals.
Oh yeah.
And so that's for me, I'm like, that's where my concern is. My concern is very little on the team in front of them. Very little.
And that concern is also, for me, would be significantly higher if I'm thinking about more than just one game. If I'm thinking about one game where both your goaltenders didn't play very well, okay, that's weird, throw it away. If I'm thinking about the last month of pretty weak goaltending, that's sending off some alarm bells for sure.
Yeah.
I'm same as you, and I talked about it 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I'm saying, God, they didn't play that bad. They're just not getting saves. Again,
wish I could look at the
relax.
numbers,
I'm not
but-
saying this about Georgiev tonight. I'm saying overall,
Spiked my phone.
You're giving up 8 goals on 28 shots, whatever it is. And I know 2 are empty netter. I'm just saying, like, pucks are going in.
Yep.
So on the level of concern, you were saying, that's why I said a 2. But if you're asking me the goaltending concern, I'm a 10. I'm a 10 now. And you guys know what I feel about goalies, right? So, but as a team.
How do you feel about goalies?
Yeah, as a team, I'm a 2, like to answer your question. But in the goaltending aspect right now, like I'm starting to get worried.
Yeah.
And I like the guy.
Yeah.
Georgiev. The other one, I'm very below average.
It's game 40.
Yep.
This was game 40. You are halfway through the season.
Yep.
I'm a little worried right now.
Both of your goalies are going to be under 900 after this game. I guess B, it's not a future. They are.
Again, what
the room
sank
you're
the
in.
Edmonton Oilers so far this season?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're
Let's
not
go for it.
making the playoffs. I'm saying led to their coach being fired. They have the 2 best players in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not very good defensively. The Avs are actually pretty good freaking defensively.
Yeah.
They do a great job. Nolan Pratt and the staff and the defensive core are awesome. Pucks are going in. I don't know what to tell you. A little different than New Orleans. What I'm saying is when you don't make saves, everything's magnified. Everything is, thrown out the window.
You can't ask your team to score 5 goals a night every night.
We're the first team in
Not gonna
25 years to have 3 20-goal scorers by game 40.
40.
Yep.
That's my point.
Like and Jonathan Duran may not be on that kind of pace. And Arturi Lehkonen has played 12 of those games this year.
Yep.
Like you're in a pretty good spot given where you started, where you've come from, and what you've experienced along the way.
Continue to get ridiculously good production from your back end.
Yeah. I mean, how many more points does your Josh Manson has a goal,
Yep.
Sam Girard has an assist,
Makar goal
Cale Makar has
and
2
an assist.
2 more
Yeah,
points.
yeah.
I don't know if there were any other ones because I spiked my phone. But you're talking at least, we just off the top of our head, we counted 4 more points out of your defense in this game.
That's how they're built.
Your top line is elite. Your defense chips in and produces and helps you create offense.
Yep.
By golly.
They're a pretty good hockey team in a lot of ways.
You really, God, man, you're two players away from putting the bow on this thing and saying, boy, this team is ready to roll.
Yep. All right, we got some super chats to get to here.
Dang.
Just one, $5 from RTV, who says, I was asleep for this one at a friend's house. Based off the score, I'm glad I missed it. Holy hell.
Yeah, so were the goalies.
Boom.
Got him. Yeah, I don't know. I actually thought it was a relatively fun game from the start of the second period onward,
It
but
got fun.
the first
It really
period
did.
wasn't very fun.
I mean, you had at the start, what was it? I think we said the first 5 minutes of the second period.
Yep.
You had 3 goals to tie the game, and you had a melee in the net because of the Kachuk Sam Girard thing.
Yep.
And props to Sam Girard
For going at
for
that
being
guy.
like,
yeah.
I don't give a shit how curly your hair is or how much you chew on that mouthpiece. I'm punching back. And for me, just props to Sam Girard.
Love that
Who I
edge.
didn't think he was very good today. A guy that I did think was really good today, and we just mentioned him in passing as the goal scorer on the goofy goal, Josh Manson blocked.
It was awesome.
Been very, very good for a while now.
Yeah, Josh Manson has really come into his
He was
own
their best
here.
team.
Yep.
Yeah,
Without a
I
doubt.
would agree. That guy and it's always easy to say this when a guy plays his best game, but he has now had weeks of solid play.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. He's back. He's back. He's definitely back.
He just looks comfortable. Mm-hmm. And this is like the Josh Manson that it has been a struggle to get him
consistently
in the last 2
yeah.
years between injuries, and then he comes back and he's fighting through something, and what's going on here, and then he's not in a rhythm, and then he gets into it, and this is what it looks like. You have to really feel a lot better about him.
Yep.
When he's like comfortable, like you say, is when he stamps guys along the wall, when he gets in the scrums, when he breaks up those 2-on-1s, like he did today.
Yep.
Obviously, getting some help offensively is awesome, but he's feeling it right now. And, that's a good sign because we all know, like Byron, who knows how long he's going to be out now. And so it just feels like there's always one out, right? When Josh was out, then all of a sudden it became Gerard that went out. Like, it's just somebody's always missing,
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the NHL, right?
That is the NHL. That's right. So but it's nice when another guy comes, finds his game again, like Josh has found
You
his
lose
game.
a guy that has been playing roughly 20-ish minutes
Sure.
for you and Bo and Byram. Caleb Jones comes into your lineup.
Yep.
It's the first time Caleb Jones has played in a while. This is going to be a bad eye test tonight because I was so in and out of paying full attention to it.
Totally.
I'll do the rewatch when I get home, but I really didn't have a huge problem. And if Caleb Jones can be I don't have a huge problem seventh D for you.
That's a good thing.
That's exactly what you want a seventh defenseman to be able to do.
Yep.
Step into the lineup and not hurt you.
You don't want to be noticed.
And if you are,
notice, it's usually bad.
I tell you what, I did really like his forecheck with 2 minutes to go.
True, I remember.
At the end of the game where he's still going hard at it, and it's okay, I appreciate that. But I feel better and better about this Avalanche defense as the season is going on. I'm feeling better and better about this group, knowing that if we have got to convince other Avalanche fans not to send Cale Makar.
Let Cale rest.
Let Cale rest. We've got to push this harder on Twitter. I'm going to start tweeting it out.
I'll push it right now.
It is not anything. I don't want to take accolades away from Cale, but who gives a shit about the All-Star game for a guy like that?
That
will
dude's already
go
on his
them.
way to the Hall of Fame.
Right. He's got some other hardware. I'm not sure All-Star game appearance is going to matter for him. You want him to be 100% coming into that second part of that season. After the All-Star break, after all that.
Agree.
Because he has a level of consistency we haven't seen. We'll just use the All-Star break as the artificial. He'll be okay after that. So let Cale rest.
There you go.
My level of appreciation of the All-Star game is really low. So, let Cale rest. Let's go. Hashtag
it. Get it out there, fam. That's all we got. We are brought to you by Breck Brew. If you want to drink away the pain, always an option. 8 different kinds on tap. Also available in every liquor store around the country. Find yours at breckbrew.com. Use the Breck Beer Locator. Also drink responsibly, of course. But, we are going to get out of here for this one. We hope everybody enjoys their evening, since it was a matinee game after all.
Joe Druin to the All-Star game for the Besties trip. That's
Besties.
incredible.
I'm in. Everyone vote Joe Druin. Here
That would
for
be
it.
awesome.
The homies do. Where's the All-Star game this year?
Toronto.
Yeah. All right. Not as cool as Vegas, but
I don't know. It would be a little bit of a needle to Canadiens fans to see Druin
as
in
an
Toronto.
All-Star in
As an
Toronto.
All-Star.
There you go.
Oh, how's it going over there with your bums? They never get any better, man. They really don't. They need a better.
Newhook
head
was
coach.
going to make them better until he got hurt. All right.
And Kirby Dog.
Yeah. Lots of injuries there.
Newey, Kirby. I mean, they all got done.
Yeah.
It's bad. I mean,
Last year they had crazy injuries. They have it again
that
this
was
year.
crazy last year.
Last year was. We were so focused on the Avs, but the
They
Canadiens
were beat up, dude.
Yeah, it was the
can't
Canadiens
win.
and the Flyers. We were and the Blue Jackets. Those
The
three
Blue
teams. You're
Jackets
looking at
had
it.
like
And you're like,
600 man games lost. That's
you're
crazy.
like, whoa, dude. At one point they had one guy on their defense that you're like, that guy will probably play an NHL game
After the
ever
season.
again.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
All right.
Anyway,
We're out of
We're
here.
just
We
bullshitting now.
appreciate y'all. Obviously off tomorrow for Sunday, but we are back Monday. And hopefully
Peace.
it's not a nonsense psycho matinee game and the Avs get some saves.
that's gonna be a hard game.
Bye.
All city like the mayor.